Welkom beste mensen met weer een aflevering van Eemland on the Move. Dit keer is het Mitch McGahan deel 2, want we waren de vorige keer wat kort. Dus die pakken we nu op. Mitch, welcome. Back in the hot seat. Well, you love to be here, don't you? I mean, it's not really a frying session, is it? So, yeah, we didn't have enough time, and we more or less left it a little bit. Indeed, we spoke about a lot of new acquisitions, and we just also just right before this we discussed that Eemland as a whole, if you look at futures and the first team, is in a bit of a transition when it purely looking at age-wise, right?
Well, yeah, transition or building up. Obviously, in the last couple of years, the futures have kind of come to the fore. Previously, struggling to get out of second team. I think we've spoken about that before. Mm-hmm. And we're only going to get younger and younger with the graduation of the Colts coming through each and every year. I think, the first year or the first instance of the futures is probably of a core group, probably 6 or 7, a few more again last year. And I think this year, on top of some that have come from other clubs because they've seen or seen some of the good work that we've done in blooding youngsters and giving youngsters a chance, they're also moving from their clubs to try and look for those opportunities as well. So, yeah, we're always going to get, I think we're going to get continually younger in that. It's can we also add the experience and some of the older heads, keeping them around, but then also making sure that we're recruiting the right type of people and that are going to give us that edge and experience to help some of these youngsters grow their development or grow their understanding of the game and how it can be played.
Yeah, we have a different strategy now altogether that we want. We want foreigners because you need them and you need the experience, but we do want them in the possibility to have them longer around than just 1 year, right?
Because no, exactly right. And I think that in order to build, and particularly if they're coming in positions in your spine, the spine of your team, if you can have them around for a number of years and build around them and help bring some of these youngsters on, then there's stability year on year. What you don't want is, and which is the case sometimes with some clubs, you're wondering what they're going to put out once the season starts because they're relatively quiet or whatever, and then season comes in, 17 new players could be there or whatever, and you're like, okay, completely different from last year.
Do you have an idea or an insight to which clubs are having that issue as we speak?
Oh, look, I think if you maybe down to the nature of where they are and the location that they do and the type of jobs that are on offer in Amsterdam seem to be ones that have quite a high turnover. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's more some people that are coming over maybe for a year from Australia and New Zealand and are basing themselves in Amsterdam, want to play a little bit of rugby locally. Hear about Amsterdam, they're doing RC are doing a wonderful job on their socials and having a digital footprint and making sure that they're out there and people know that if they are coming into the Amsterdam area that there is an Eerklasse club there to play for. So they always seem to have a number of new faces in the last couple of years and good on them because if they're able to do it and are enabling their players to enjoy the experience of living in Amsterdam and play a bit of rugby locally whilst they're doing their work. That's for the betterment of the competition, isn't it?
Yeah. No, if they up their game, that's good for everybody. That's true. Yeah, talking about the acquisitions, we've got quite some. What is it? Where are you? Are you happy with what you have? Well, obviously you have to say you're happy, otherwise you can't, right? But yeah, Jesus, that's a question that answers itself. But okay, no, but about acquisitions. Right, where do you see where you say okay, that's a really promising part now? If you look at the youngsters or in the first team, I think if you have a look at obviously we've had some guys that have gone away to SUS for 6 months through Aspire that have come back, and you can already see the development within their game, the maturity in having been 6 months intensive and only doing rugby. Yeah, they've come back on the weekend and stood up and impressed and reminded the coaching staff that they are there. So the likes of Tibber van der Kamp, Bram Routers coming back and really shining on the weekend. James Knup's been back for it and had a session already with Allard, and he's already licking his lips at the prospect of working with James. But you have a look at some of the ones that maybe have gone under the radar slightly. If we talk about, Valentine van Beek coming across, obviously he was a Utrecht boy, spent a season at Gooi. Florian van Vondelen as well, coming from Gooi across to us. 2 very exciting youngsters who are looking for that opportunity and looking to try and push on in their rugby careers. And
if we talk about excitement and the future, those are two names that immediately spring to mind. Fred Neubauer as well, Dutch qualified, has just moved over here for university, but it comes from a rugby playing background in Spain, and again one that excites and what you're seeing on the eye. And then
you see massive amount of potential. But what I saw this weekend, we were in Belgium obviously, and we had a fairly good turnout.
Yeah,
it didn't happen according to what you would think. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Well, we had a chat, ladies and gentlemen, and you figured that they would come out nuts for the first 15 to 20 minutes. Yeah. We really needed to be prepared. But we got them. We stabilized them pretty quick already in the game, didn't we?
Yeah, I think you're seeing the work that we're doing on the field with the tempo at which we want to play with. I think that caught them out. You know, they weren't a small side.
No.
Neither are we. But I think just the intensity at which we played with early on was able to kind of negate the threat that I thought they may have within the forwards. You're dead right. I think it's a testament to the character that we're building within the squad and the commitment that they're showing and buying into the ideas that we're trying to push upon them or impress upon them, and how we see the game being played by them. So it was a really good head out against a fairly physical Belgian side.
Yeah, no, indeed. You know, I was surprised by the facilities. They were okay. That was good. Yeah. That was lovely. Indeed, I didn't expect that, so that was good. Yeah, we had both teams win, right? So that was a good turnout. The futures looked a little bit in the beginning a bit shaky, but there you could see. I could see. You really could see who were there for the first time, and who already got the experience at least on senior level. Yeah, you saw that this is different. This is a little.
And like I said, I think. With the training that we've been doing, it's bringing them up to speed. And there's a number who are playing their first senior rugby games, and to do it away against the Belgian side, who, like I said, we saw, were quite physical and had a way of playing and trying to impose themselves. Our guys stood up to them once they found each other, found those connections on the field. Yeah, it flourished really well, and I think again, if we're talking about new acquisitions and the excitement within them, what a second half he had there. Pharrell coming in. Just the speed of which he moves the ball away just enabled us to really get after that team and play on the front foot, which, it's a pleasure to see. And I said there's going to be some wonderful competition across the back line, across the whole squad, and fighting for positions is exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, you don't have many really. Well, you do have a little bit, but there's a framework that you would say, okay, those are no-brainers, but there's a lot up in the air that they can fight for their position, right? Yeah,
100%, and that's what you want as a squad. That's what you want as a coach. You don't want it to be an easy job.
No.
And knowing what you're going to do every week, you want it to be difficult, because that means that everyone's fighting for a place to start, to be in the squad, and looking for minutes and trying to put their best foot forward for the side. We're in a very good place. It's obviously very early in the season, or it's at the end of pre-season, where everyone's relatively fit, the excitement levels are high, the weather is generally good. We want to still have that competition come the deep dark days of November and December, before Christmas, to make sure that we're still pushing each other, that we're still striving, and we're still fighting for our shirts, and making sure that we're trying to put our best foot forward in the competition.
And what is it that you going to try to do differently this year in comparison to last year, if anything?
Look, I think we've touched on this in the past. There's always learnings that you take out of a season. I think where we are currently and how the squad is shaping with the acquisitions that we brought in, with the ideas or the new ideas that the new coaching staff have brought in and tried to implement, it's going to take some settling down, and rather than look at things that are measurable by stats, it's how's their effort, how are things going, are they working hard, are they buying in, are they moving quickly, have they got that hunger, those things that are easy on the eye to see, that you're not reliant on data and metrics to be able to see, are they working hard, are they working harder than the opposite team? If we're doing that, then we're going to be in a good place, and I back the ability of our coaching staff and to be able to polish things up, get the detail in that's necessary to be able to really kick on and take this league.
It's really important that you actually participate in pre-season, right? I mean, last year I know, for instance, my son couldn't because but this year I think it's fairly the majority of people showed up, right?
Yeah, it's always tough when you're beginning the pre-season right when holidays are starting in this country. So August, I think, across the board, not just here, I think across all clubs is generally pretty difficult with numbers and commitment-wise, with guys going for a week, 2 weeks, families, some of the older guys with younger families themselves that are trying to entertain kids throughout the day and maybe are busy. It can be difficult for everyone to pitch up and to get that collective buy-in. We've been very, very happy with the numbers that we've seen throughout our preseason. I think we've been 40, 50 most sessions, and we've been going 3 times a week. So that sets itself up. It means that we're able to get the detail in that we want, that the new ideas, and we're able to push these things, and the boys are able to police it themselves because they're buying into it. They know they're not missing out on sessions. They know what's expected of them, and if they are missing, they're quick to catch up. You can see they're having those chats with their fellow players on, hey, what happened last night? What are we missing? And obviously we're filming trainings and things, so not much has been missed. I think the forwards would like Ella to take a break.
He won't.
No, well, yeah. And it's good. It's what they need. But yeah, there's a few of them going, geez, he was texting us at 12 o'clock last night after he got home from training. I said, well,
he's relentless.
He's committed and he's relentless, and that's he demands the best. He expects the best, and it's going to make you better at the end of the day. So it's funny to see some of them just looking, oh, Hallard's going again on their phone, and it's like, hey, listen, he's committed. He wants to. He's really invested in you guys and making you better. So you can only be thankful for those type of things.
Absolutely. I don't know if we touched on this, but I'm going to ask it again, and that's then going to be more or less the part 2. Did we touch on the ambition this coming year?
Like I said, ambition. We're always striving to be in that top 4. You've got to make the top 4 first. Anything can happen on the day when it comes to semi-finals. But if you're in the top 4 and you're in that mix, then it's you've got to make sure that you've dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, because come that first whistle in a semi-final, look, it's basically the best man on the day will win. Form goes out the window.
That's the frustrating part of it, partially, that you can be miles ahead. It doesn't guarantee you're going to be winning the cup.
Yeah, but that's dealing with that pressure and how you deal with that pressure of finals footy, and it sets our teams up, or it sets us up to making sure that we're learning from our past mistakes and we're rising to that occasion. And I think with the work that we've done and the experience we've had over the last few years, I think we're in a solid position to answer those questions when they become when those questions are posed to us again.
Absolutely. Looking forward to the season, Mitch. And
thanks very much,
obviously we're going to talk again.
No worries, mate.